Good afternoon. I'm speaking to Tony on the release day of his new book, or first book, I think. Hiya, Tony. Would you like to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Thank you, Donna. Yeah, my name's Tony Millington. Currently residing in Peterborough, just up the road from Donna, here in Bedford. Yeah, my first book for my new publisher, Carter Press, which is called Family First, has just received its publication as of today on Kindle. I just got the, I don't know if you can see that properly, the front cover on the Kindle version is that. So the other things, the paperback won't be due out until October, I've been told. I don't know when it's going to be coming on audio. That's the first book in the crime police procedural series for DS Watson and DS Monteith. And book 2 in the series is due out in October, November time.
And do you want to tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, I said it's a police procedural one. It's set in what I call, it's set in a fictional town called West Ravenswood, or West Ravenswood, which is Peterborough-ish. I didn't want to do Peterborough. Main reason is just Tony Porter and Ross Greenwood seem to have monopolised Peterborough already. And I felt coming in when they've already done it as a fresh-faced author a few years ago. I didn't want to do the same thing again, so I made up a little bit of a anomaly of mashup of a couple of parts of Peterborough, a couple of districts of Peterborough, and mashed them together and came up with West Ravenswood. So the two detectives, which are Keith Monteith and Terry Watson, went to school together, and then went through the police training together, and now they were set up about 6 years previously on the agency that is assigned with the police force at West Ravenswood. And this is just the start of it. I've got 4 books, all with Dark Press now, all ready for release. As I said, the first 2 for this year, and the second 2 will be coming out next year. And they sort of like, they follow on into each other. So there may be there's things that I'd say something in the first book, which may not turn up until books 3, 4 later on in the series.
Did you always want to be a writer?
No, I didn't. This just came up as by chance, way of novel writing or anything. Early days, I've done 15 years in the MOD as a civil servant, working at the local RAF stations in and around Peterborough. And then I did a few years in adult social care for the local county, the local Peterborough City Council. Before that, I was here, there, and everywhere with different jobs. Writing came about when I was listening in my car to the radio, stuck in a traffic jam, coming home from work, and they were talking about books and writing, and somebody said the archetypal thing that's saying everybody's got a book in them. So I'm hearing that, and my brain goes whirring, and over the next few weeks I jotted down some ideas, and a very rough draft of Family First came out about a year later. I finished that. grown it ever since, and now into 4 books now.
And did you know when you wrote the first one that it was going to be a series?
Yes and no. I wanted it to be a series, and the way I ended the first book, I could definitely work it into a second book. But writing the first book was more of a, let's see if I can do it. If it gets published, it gets published. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It sits in the drawer somewhere like everybody else's with the first ones. So I wasn't really planning on actually going, I'm going to get published. It was a case of, if it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
And has it turned out to be tougher than you thought, easier than you thought?
A bit of both, actually. There's something. The last time I saw Mike Craven on, he said, with getting published, there's quite a bit of luck involved in it. Not just you might think you've got the perfect book that you've written, but it's not until you put that out to publishers and agents and other people say, yes, you have, and we'll take it on or not. Then it snowballs from there. I kind of fell into it, and I had a very big piece of luck with starting writing. When I'd finished the first one, which is now Family First, I was going through a bit of a mental piece, and had a breakdown during the writing it, just finishing the writing it. And I got to know during that time Ross Greenwood, and I'd spoken to him. I went searching about other people in Peterborough who were all written on Ross came up. So I started speaking to him and met him and everything. And in 2017, he invited me as his guest to The Darker Side of Fiction, which was being held at one of the hotels in Peterborough, and he invited me as his guest. He was there doing his books for book signings, and he's been to the most of them. About 40 or 50 different authors there, and people come in and talk to them and see if they are interested in your books and everything. So I went as his guest, and it was the first time I'd been out of the house for God knows how long. I don't know how long I was going to stay there for. If I stayed there for 20 minutes, it was good for me. If I stayed there for longer, it was even better for my mental health. Anyway, I was there, I met him, and he was on the same table. They put him on the same table as Tony Ford and Jane James, another one of the local authors here. So I've been talking to all three of them, and Ross said, he said, have you finished your book? I said, yeah, I have. He said, I was seeing about getting it published. I didn't know how to bounce it. And he pointed me in a gentleman's direction to another person that was there, David McCaffrey. And he had just started up British Next Bestseller. And he also, his other job was mental health. So I went across to him and I had a chat with him and spoke to him over mental health. And then I spoke to him over my book that I'd just done. He said, just send me here's my email address, send me across the manuscript. I'll take a look at it and see what happens. About a month later, he emailed me back, says, yes, I'm interested in it, I want to publish it. So first publisher that I'd actually spoken to, and he said, yeah, I'll jump at the chance, I'll grab it. So about 9 months to a year later, it was out and it was being published under its original title of On Silent Grief. So yeah, I'm a published author, brilliant. And I already started working on the second book. So I was really enjoying it, enjoying being an author there.
How did you choose character names, and how much of yourself are in your characters?
Character names at the moment with the first book was either the surname or the first name of people that I already knew, but I mashed them up and I didn't use the same surname with the same first name. So I knew people, like watching them on people, I know people who are called that. And also the BCI in that one, Crompton, and that somebody can still have the same surname, Crompton. So it's just an amalgamation of people that I knew in the way of the name. Is there some in me, in them? I don't know, perfectly honest. I didn't set about putting myself in them. They just took on something of their own, like most other authors say. They start speaking to you in your mind and take the story off to where they want it to go. So maybe not. I'll leave that for the readers who know me. People who know me and then read the book say, am I in there? I don't know.
What's the most interesting thing you found doing research for your books?
The interesting, how a body behaves when it's submerged in water after somebody's been shot or something like that. And the bloating and how it smells and gases that are inside of it. But, yeah, that's one of the things that was, and how a body reacts if it's been burnt. But yeah, there's been some quite interesting things with that.
What's your most overused word or phrase that you have to edit down?
Going through, when I went through the last manuscript for the book before I sent it off, I found out that I was using so and well at the beginning of each sentence with somebody speaking. So most of that disappeared out. Like you'll have to ask me editor to see what the other ones are. But there's quite a few. I mean, you're doing in with you're writing paragraphs and sort of like the same word pops up 3 or 4 different times, and when you go through it, you have to change that. So those ones I did.
Have you always been a big reader?
No, not really. Not from when I was young. I didn't read books or anything, or if I did, I can't remember the titles of them. I was more into reading sports stuff, so I was getting the magazines that were out the football magazines out at the time, which were Shoot and Match, so I was more reading into them, the sports papers and things like that, and reference books for sport. It wasn't until really I took off again when I got married and my wife was a big reader, and she wanted, because we're going away on honeymoon, we just got married, and she wanted some books to take away with her for the flight and whatever else. So we went into the works and she came out with some Alan Folsom's The Day After Tomorrow. And I absolutely thoroughly enjoyed it, reading that. And then waiting for the next one of his to come out. While I did that, I started reading James Patterson. And I went hell for leather through the whole of his series, from the Croft book to Ruin's Murder Club, all those ones. I've just about almost done those with them. And when I finished those, I ended up with Jack Reacher that was coming out at the time. So I was reading those most of the time. And I've gone through virtually the whole of those as well. I haven't done the last couple of them. Because I've been too busy with all of it. And then other authors turned up and I've taken on reading them, like the likes of Frank Order and Malcolm Holland Drake. to name a couple.
It sounds similar to me. I've done that as well. Read all of Joseph Patterson and Lee Child, and then went on to Hindi authors.
Yeah, he knows how to. He knows how to write a good book, something that's fast and pacey. But you also know the fact, especially with Alex Cross, you know how his mind works and with his family and everything like that. And that's the type of thing I wanted to put into my books. You have there's other writers that say the normal ones that have always got baggage to take, but what I wanted to do when I was drawing up for What's in a Montage is to have them as settled family lives with children, and they like their job, but yeah, there are things that are going on in the background, and those do come out throughout the books. I mean, you've read the first one, I think, so you know what Monty's background is at the moment, and that actually carries on into book 2. So yeah, it's been good.
Yeah, that's one thing that did stand out. There's, I mean, obviously it's called Family First anyway, but there's sort of very different dynamics of families. So
yeah,
obviously, I mean, without spoilers, there's like, you know, the main storyline, which is family linked, and then, like you say, the 2 main police as well. So
yeah,
it is a big, and it is nice to see coppers getting on with their families and stuff for a change. My pooch is blind, so he can't jump off the chair by himself. What's been your favourite moment so far then, being an author? Is there one that stands out?
Oh, there's a few that stand out at the moment. The first one was getting that first book published through its next bestseller, and actually seeing your words put down in print in front of you all down that was absolutely great. One of the others is we went our separate ways at the beginning of 2020. So I went looking to see whether I could get another publisher. And for about the next 6 months, I took the book out and manuscript out to all publishers and agencies. Didn't really get a sniff back. Some said yes, thanks, but no thanks. I almost fell into the trap of doing the vanity publishing, and they said, yeah, we could do it if you pay us some money. No, not a chance. The biggest amount somebody wanted was about £3,500, which was the biggest I've seen somebody want is £15, which is but so while this was going on, I managed to put on Facebook an advert from Dark Edge Press, and I thought, okay, I'll have a look at it, and I'll look at the website. I said, oh, okay, I'll throw it out to them as well with an email. So to answer your question, this is the next one. Louise Mullins herself emailed me back about an hour later with a great long email saying, yeah, I absolutely love the manuscript for that, and I've sent it across to our commissioning editor, Michael, and he'll be back, he'll get in contact with you. And about less than an hour later after that arrived, Michael turns up with his email and says, yeah, Louise has passed this across to me, I've seen read it, absolutely love it. But here you've got 2 others that have 2 other books from the series you finished, and you're working on your 4th book. And because of that, we'd like to actually have all 4 books and offer you a 4-book contract. So there's me going, okay, yeah. showing the email to the wife saying, "Am I reading this right? Is this genuine?" This is brilliant. Because yeah, I just absolutely brilliant. I just thought, right, fine, great. I signed on the dotted line the next day with Dark Express, and I've not looked back since. It's been brilliant working with them. The other best one is going to Harrogate in 2019. And just walking around and seeing all the other authors, all the more established authors. You're walking around and you're bumping into the likes of Bal McDermott and Mark Billingham, and I'm going, it's him. I don't know what it's him. But Shell Baker, she collared me to come into a photograph she was doing with her and Elaine. And so there was us three. There was Corbin Harlan, Val McDermott, and somebody else all in this one picture. And I thought, I'm in heaven here. And just walking around and seeing the great Ian Rankin and one or two others, it was just brilliant, just walking around and chatting to people with that. So yeah, that's just one thing that's stuck in my mind. It's brilliant. It can't happen at the moment.
Yeah. Do you have any fears or phobias, and would you write about them?
Yes, I don't like needles. Which is, I've got not a phobia, but I just don't like needles, which is because of sort of like going into the dentist when they were younger and everything. I hated it. The trouble is now I have to take my medication and having to take have needles in me left, right, and centre at the moment. Getting blood tests and the like. So I've had to put up with it, but I still don't like it. Would I write about it? Who knows? Might do.
If you were able to spend a day with any author, dead or alive, who would you like to spend a day with?
James Patterson, probably. To learn more about the writing business and becoming an author and getting some good tips about it from him. He did do one of those there was something on the web about a master class, and he was one of the people that was involved in it. For about 20 odd weeks or something, he set out all the writings of the book, the ins and outs and everything. But it was a little bit too much for me to pay at the time, so I didn't actually do it. I think Jed McCurry is doing one at the moment with how to write TV series. But yeah, right, doing either Lee Childs or James Patterson would be great.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. I've seen that one with Jed McCurry, actually, that'd be cool. But yeah, they're just expensive sometimes, aren't they?
Yeah.
I totally forgot what I was going to ask you. Oh, have you got lots of author friends apart from your fellow Peterborough residents?
I chat to one or two. Malcolm's been brilliant straight from the start. He looked after me when I was up in Harrogate, and he's been we message each other every so often and see how everybody's getting on and everything. And Rob Ashman occasionally. But yeah, everybody that's on, everybody that's on the UK crime book club, all the authors on there. If you've got any. If you're struggling or you don't want to ask a question, they're all happy to help out and answer anything that you want answered.
Yeah, I know Malcolm is lovely. He's known as Teasy Weezy to me.
What?
As Teasy Weezy. Yeah, or just Teasy for short. I had to Google it. I had no idea. Just
I hate to think why. I'm not heard him say that.
it's because he said every time I asked for help with my degree, he said he was washing his hair. So apparently,
oh, right, okay.
Yeah. So apparently, yeah, and Tony Ford as AJ, just because I like to be different, apparently. And have you had much feedback from readers today? Have you had good reviews and stuff?
I've had a few back, not many at the moment. There's been a couple. One of the other authors from Dark Edge Press, Alistair, has left one on Amazon, and I've had a couple of, one on Goodreads and the first one on the blog tours. I spotted that about an hour ago, and both of them are quite favourable to the book. Both of them have quite enjoyed it. So we shall see what happens now. But yeah, I'm quite enjoying it. Yeah.
Yeah, I know I haven't done mine yet. I will. It'll be on by the end of today, I promise.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. It will also be favourable as well. You'll be happy to know. But I'm not telling you what yet. You'll have to wait and see.
Oh, thank you.
So what do you like to do when you're not writing?
At the moment, listening to music, optimising, watching all the football and the cricket and everything else on TV and that. So I'm thoroughly enjoying that. And I've seen Peter and Luton are playing together on the first match of the season down at your place. As well as that, we've got a 6-year-old Romanian rescue dog who takes up all our time. She's absolutely lovely, so we take her for a walk every day. And also I'm involved in what's called Andy's Man Club. And that's to help men who are struggling with life and think that all the world's against them. They've set up in Yorkshire when the person who set it up, his brother-in-law, unfortunately took his own life, and it's grown now in the 5 years that it's been there to about 50 odd clubs all around the country, and in Scotland and Wales and the like. And if any men who are just having trouble with life in general, feel that they don't know where to turn, the clubs are there to put the men to go along, non-judgmental, and just to have a chat to other people and other men that are going through the same crisis as they're going through. Have a cup of tea, have a biscuit, have a general chat, just to see how you're going. And I've been doing that for about the last 3 years, and it certainly helped me. It's every Monday, and the website is andysmanclub.com, I think, or .co.uk, and there's a whole list of clubs up and down the country in Scotland and Wales. So if there's one near you and you're struggling, please come and have a word with us.
Yeah, definitely. I couldn't agree more. I mean, I struggle as well, so yeah, you need to talk to someone. Definitely, it does help.
One of the clubs up in Scotland, I think, have started a women's version of it. So whether that'll take off, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I know there's women's clubs that are starting up.
It's obviously something that you feel strongly about. So would you ever write about your experiences with mental health?
There's a little bit in there in the books about mental health and how people feel when they're doing the job and the like. But I've not gone into too great a detail, not yet. But yeah, it affected me quite a bit, and this has really helped.
That's good to know. Yeah, you're not alone, actually. I don't think in that. It's quite common that just people still don't talk about it.
If it wasn't for my writing's kept me sane as I'm going along. I mean, without, I'm not working at the moment, and becoming an author is the next thing to do. So hopefully something will come up it. But if I'm feeling bad, I'll just stick on my music on the airplane and type away and start working on any of the books I'm doing. And it helps just to concentrate your mind on other things.
Yeah. What's your biggest dream from writing? What would you like to achieve most?
To actually do this as a profession now, from a full-time author. Like I say, we've got 4 books in the process now, and in the middle of writing a 5th. I might have 1 or 2 ideas that are brewing around in the head at the moment to see whether any other new series or not. But yeah, just to take this to the next level, I think. I'm not waste it or anything and just let it drift or anything, but I want to do this to see how far we can get. I'm not, as long as I can make a decent living out of it, I'm not looking at being the next Ian Rankin or the big people like that. Yes, it'd be nice to do that, but as long as I can make a decent income out of it, then that'll be fine.
Seems like a fair enough goal. If you were to invite 4 famous people to a dinner party, who would you invite?
Ooh, probably James Patterson again. We'll go with that. Who else? Who famous people? Alex Ferguson. Just to pick his brains over how he became a manager and looked after everything. What was going for? I don't know. Bruce Dickinson, for Iron Maiden, because he's got his fingers in quite a lot of pies, not just his work, his music, but he's also big into his aircraft and everything in flying. So that'd be interesting to work with him. I don't know the 4th. Have to see what happens with that. Haven't got anything.
Sounds like a fun night anyway, so I think you'd be well away.
Don't worry, it will be.
If you were to be able to be a character in any fiction, so any book, any film, any TV series, what would you choose?
All mine being like the pathologist in my book, the metalhead in pathologist. He's quite enough to it, but he's quite great for it. He was good to write about with him. In other books, probably Jimmy Bliss. See what he won't do. I'll go with
your hands off Jimmy Bliss. Jimmy Bliss is fine.
Or Alex Cross and James Patterson.
Yeah, that'd be fun actually. Jimmy Bliss is, he's lonely and has his garden. At least Alex Cross has some fun.
Oh, he has definitely a lot of fun.
Better not hear AJ tell it. Not hear me saying that, it'll kill me. If you were to have any superpower, what would you choose? What was that?
No, no, nothing comes to mind. I don't know.
Fair enough. Well, I don't think I have any more questions for you, unless you think there's anything that I haven't asked you.
No, that's nice. It's been good to talk to you finally.
Yes, I know. We've been talking about this for ages.
So yeah, it's been nice chatting to you.
Yeah,
But
you
yeah,
too.
hopefully when book 2 comes out around October, November, we can do this again.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you.
So do you just want to remind everyone where they can find out more about you and where they can get your book from?
I said my Tony Millington. I'm now published author for the DS Monty and Watson crime procedural book. The first one and the third is due out today on Kindle, and we're due out on paperback in October. It's the first of 4 at the moment, and I'm currently writing on the 5th. And it's published through Dark Edge Press. And that's it. And you can get it all on Kindle and Kobo and all the other good e-reading platforms.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
I've got a web page, and I haven't got a web page. I'm trying to look for that to see whether I can set that one of those up. But Facebook, I'm on. I've got an author page on there, and I'm also dabbling at Twitter at Tony Millington 9.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm starting to use that as well now. But yeah, I'm mainly on Facebook. If you want to have a word with me and say hello.
Yep, which strongly encourage people to do, as you lot love to hear from us, don't you?
Oh yes. We can't get anywhere without our readers. And if any of the readers out there, if you post reviews on any of the books that you read, it's great for the authors to read those and know that they're helping getting us through these pandemic times and everything. And we're doing something good.
Yes, absolutely. Well, brilliant. Thank you.
You're welcome.